Shabbat shalom, welcome back to the channel. It's such a beautiful day to have this conversation with you up on the roof. I like to be up here. You can see the views are immaculate. And I want to talk to you about Abraham faith, because Abraham faith is what got us here today, what got me here to this location I'm in, believing things that I couldn't see and having hope for something that didn't seem tangible but was possible and was written in my timeline of life, in the book of life, for my specific life and for my children and our lineage after us. There's going to be a lot of mockers on your journey when you encounter an Abraham faith move. It's so big, nobody can understand it. You'll hear things like, nobody's ever been there. How can anybody accomplish that? Don't you need to have some sort of system, some sort of this, some sort of that in place? But the thing with Genesis 12 and even Genesis 11 and even Genesis 13, you should take a look at them today, relook at them, read them in multiple translations. Write those verses down over and over. That's how you meditate on the word. You literally just sit there and write it over and over until it becomes a part of you. That's why I love writing. That's just one form of writing. But in Genesis 12, I was going back over it today, and he says, go out away from your father's land, away from your father's country. Leave that place behind. Leave that place of your lineage behind. Now, Abraham's father, Tahor, he was an idol worshiper, presumably some type of maybe wooden carved images, maybe some type of masks. And in this time, they would trade these masks. These types of trades still go on across Africa and across Asia, of course, too, where people have these relics. They build them with their hands. They worship them. They trade them. And they are a source of business and prosperity. And so it's based on their own creativity, right? Because they made these idols themselves, and so it's really based on whatever they can create with their hands. And they think that's they think that's their God, that's their power, that's why they have what they have. And that's that. And that's who Tahor was in Babylon, in Shinar, in this land that was the greatest at that time and had all type of idols, all types of resources, all types of things, similar to how America is that place of today. And so the Most High tells him, he says, get out and go. And the thing is that he just says this to him. He doesn't say, go round up your church congregation, go round up your family, go round up everyone you know and leave, go, that wasn't the instruction. When you look at the instruction, you just take it for literally what it says. He says, go, leave this place, and I will bless you in the place that I call you to. Not only will I bless you and increase you and your seed after you, but in you all nations of the earth will be blessed. This is why there are Abrahamic religions, because Abraham's not only just known to the Hebrews, he's known to other nations as well. So the Most High kept good on his promise. Why do so many religions know about Abraham? So that is the blueprint that we took to travel to East Africa, to travel to Southern Africa. We didn't really need a blueprint because we understood that that message was also meant for us and for our lineage after us. And we didn't need a church. We didn't need a leadership organization. We didn't need human to be in charge of us. We didn't need man to pastoral over us as a quote-unquote spiritual father, or all of these strange terms they come out with to put man in the stead of the Most High, where Abraham, yes, he eventually met a priest called Melchizedek, but he prayed to Yah. He wouldn't, in America and in Western society, they try to, and I guess it's all over the world, there's this super dependence on humans that is illogical, and you just don't see that with the patriarchs that were successful in their walk with the Most High. Everybody who was successful in the Bible, in their walk with the Most High, including King David, they would just listen to the Most High. They would not listen to what man told them to do. Because many times, man will tell you something that is directly contrary to the Most High. Because humans aren't fully yielded to the Most High, for the most part. The vast majority of humans you meet, the very vast majority, they're just not fully submitted. They can't even receive divine instruction, but they'll seek to destroy your divine instruction. So can you imagine what would happen if Abraham took it upon himself to double check with his dad, Tahor, as maybe the traditions would have told him to respect his elder, his dad, and, you know, to stay with the idols and to keep all those things and not ruin the idols, don't throw the idols, don't do any of those things. But Abraham said, no, I have to follow the creator that made everything. Yes, you've made your own creations, but I have to follow the one who made the earth. I have to follow the one who made the clouds. I have to follow the one who painted these gorgeous mountaintops before they were ever made. I have to follow the one who made this island appear out of a volcanic ash and breathed life on it and said, breathe, and wrote in my book that I would be here sharing this with you today. That's the one I had to follow. And so I want to give this as a point of inspiration, but also a point of conviction, because I wonder what life would be like if you also were called to be an Abraham of your generation, but you don't follow in obedience, and you wait for man to approve you, and you wait for man to tell you now you can go into business ownership, and you wait for man to tell you now you can do these things this way. This is why it literally says, come out of her, my people, be not partaker of her plagues. It also includes the church, because the church, the Most High says, why does he continue to say this? This is a theme throughout the word. He says, I do not want to live in a building made with walls. I want to live in your body. Meaning, I want to have sovereignty over you and authority and rulership over you to do my will on the earth as I please, not as the church pleases, not as the Christian organization, the Israelite organization, the Judaism organization, the half and half, skipping back and forth organization wants you to do, not as the 501c3s want you to do. Because doing an extravagant, extraordinary move like this results in a big level of glory for the Most High, an enormous amount of glory for him, and also takes resources from churches. It takes resources, but churches don't only rely on resources. A lot of them have a narcissistic mechanism in them that also relies on your energy and wants to draw energy from you week by week by week by week, so that you're ever crippled and dependent on a system, on a people, on a congregation, when you were truly only created to be in the divine service of the Most High. Because we have to stop looking at ourselves as we are the center of the universe. Yeshua is the center of the universe. Yah's salvation is the center of the universe. And so if that's not the center of your worldview, you're off center, you're off balance. And I urge you to get back into balance so you can experience the newness of life. You'll never be able to experience the newness of life, though your Messiah, Yeshua, died for you and was crucified, and his blood dripped down for you to be able to experience that. But if he is not the center, meaning if he cannot have full reign, access, and rulership over what you do, meaning if he says, go into this territory and I'll tell you what to do when I send you there, if he can't speak this word to you, then how can he have access over you? Lastly, I'll leave you with this story that pertains to America. A lot of people say, you know, the rapture, they have all these new terms for the rapture, right? They won't literally say the rapture, but they'll say it in different terminology. They'll say, well, I'm just waiting for the Most High to do X, Y, Z. I'm waiting for this rapture. I'm waiting to be, you know, brought into this, you know, secret gathering. I'm waiting for this and I'm waiting for that. And I just want to remind you that Abraham didn't wait. The message that Abraham received was to go take action, go walk, go leave behind what you knew, and I'm going to increase you beyond your wildest dreams, and I'm going to increase you beyond anything, and everyone who stands against you, I will curse them, so that in you all nations of the earth will be blessed. In Genesis 12, a part of that he says to Abraham is, I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse and cause contempt to those who curse you, to those who mock you, to those who speak perversely of what you're doing. Why? Because Abraham wasn't doing his will. Abraham was doing the Father's will. Abraham was doing what he heard. And so it didn't matter. And I believe Abraham, when you look at his story, you see that there's this lack of proximity to humans outside of his immediate family and his immediate people that he had in his circle that would work with him, work for him, and they were on this journey together. You see this lack of, how should I put it? You see that he's not just around all of these people just to be a party person, just to be popular, just for fun. Abraham is really, as the father of faith, he is really a symbol that shows you that you need to function in divine purpose, and everything else must come after that, and maybe not even be on your radar at all. Because when you really sit and just listen to Abraham's story, read it. You can read it in Genesis, Jasher, okay? You can read it even in Hebrews 11. When you digest it, you're like, this guy, he wasn't just being known. Although everybody knew him, they'd heard, oh, Abraham the Hebrew, Abraham the one who had crossed over. And they said, he was a very respectable guy, anybody who met him, obviously. But at the same time, not a lot of these nations and different peoples had proximity to him, other than his close circle of his wife and his children, eventually when he began to have those children. And the same type of thing follows Isaac in his lifetime. That same type of thing follows Jacob in his lifetime, where they are nomadic people, nomadic believers of the Most High. When they're on the face of the earth at that time, there was no other family on the earth that had believed on the real Creator the way that they did. And they stood on it alone, and they stood on it in faith, and they stood on it in just the generations after them, because it was all about lineage. That's why we have Yeshua today, because it was always about preserving the lineage. The lineage always has to be preserved, because if the lineage isn't preserved, then what vessels does the Most High have to use? So that is it for this Shabbat. That is what I wanted to talk to you about. And have a good Shabbat. Shabbat shalom.